Good evening. This is the Thursday, March 20th ZBA meeting, and this meeting is being recorded, so this time I'll just ask if there's anyone in the audience recording, and I can see there's only the applicant, so I know no one else is recording. Good evening, Mr. Buckholz, and would you like to maybe come up to the microphone and maybe just give us an update from the meeting, which we continued from February 20th?
I'd like to hand out the sheets of the revised drawing we came up with.
Sure. I'll take a motion to open the meeting.
Well, it's continued, but we'll open.
I'll make a motion to continue.
I'll second.
Have enough copies for everybody?
Yes.
As our last meeting, we had a different idea presented and reviewed the site and came up with an alternate plan, which we think is more in keeping with the zoning of the town. The first concern that I would like to clear up was there's a house next to it, and they said it was within 200 feet of the house and it was going to be an issue. Where this particular sign is sited, you can't see the house. The house has no visual line of sight on this particular sign because if it's oriented on the side of the property near the parking lot and the entrance, the house is on the other side of the property. You can't see the sign from the house, so it really doesn't affect the house at all, so hopefully that'll alleviate that concern. Again, we tried to come up with a sign that fit more like what the town was looking for, as well as something that would be visually appealing and be able to still be seen going up and down both sections of the street. Based on the topography of the land, you could see on the picture of the house, of the building with the sign drawn on it, with the line of sight, they can see that sign pretty much from where that second pickup is parked on the side of the road, which makes it visually enough of a line of sight that you can see it and not see it so quick that you're gonna blink it and not be able to read it and create a hazard. And it's set back from the road properly, as well as addresses the sizing concerns based on a freestanding sign versus a sign mounted to the building.
Okay, so this is the first time we saw this, so we're just
Yes.
we're kind of just...
The existing ground sign is actually being reworked, and that's what's drawn there. We removed it, so now we're bringing the existing ground sign into conformity.
Well, I'm looking up here, do any board members have any questions for the applicant?
Yeah, do you have a site plan to show the location?
The initial package had a site plan. I should have created another one. I had some problems with my server. But if the initial package had a site plan, and it's going right on the corner of the property by the stairs next to the entrance to the building. It's actually within 15 feet of where it's drawn on the site plan that we showed it on the building. But I did not create a specific site plan for this location.
Well, you do know you need a site plan for if it's a freestanding sign?
I can create one, I just don't have one with me at this point in time.
Okay, so I guess just kind of looking at the dimensions of the sign, because it looks like So first, in terms of height, so the total height of the sign, looks like it's
It's 144.
144 divided by 12.
Twelve feet.
So it's 12 feet tall, which we know the bylaw, I believe, is 10 feet.
Is that 140, is that 144 to here, and that's 71 to
So
there?
144. Is it 144 plus 33?
No, it's total,
Total?
which is 12 feet. I thought that was acceptable height.
Let me see, I thought it was,
From the local building
Oh, that's right.
district, yeah, 12 feet.
12, I'm sorry, yeah, 12 feet. But so the top part of the sign, that's
It's a
The,
cabinet with holding, and then there's a message center in the cabinet.
okay, so that's, that would be
14.2 square feet.
14.2, and then the total sign, total square is 43?
That includes the signs below and in the cabinet for the message center.
Sign cabinet, 24, message center. So the message center is 14.2,
.2.
so it'd be 14.2 divided by 43.2, so that's like 33%.
We're hopefully presenting the same argument we had at the last time in that we go by a maximum allowable and not make the sign bigger. The customer would make the sign bigger, but we don't think it's necessary.
Well, in the local business district, the sign requirements, the sign limitation is 40 square feet for the freestanding sign.
40?
You're already over that, just
Yeah.
with the sign itself.
Well, I could make it to 40, that's not a problem, but then I'm only allowed 25% of that?
10%.
10%.
And
So you got 4 square feet to
Right.
work with.
Yeah, the previous sign that you applied for at the last.
Now, how far do you have to be from the house again? Was that
200 feet.
200 feet? Okay.
There are different size limitations in the local business district as opposed to the highway business district.
Yeah, but 4 square feet, that's it?
Yeah. See, to kind of give you a little back, this past weekend, a bunch of the board members, including myself, every year they have a conference that the state puts on to go over updated zoning requirements, and they actually had a retired assistant district attorney from Coakley, and he talked about zoning, and he basically reminded all the board members that you really got to be careful about granting a use variance, because basically what we're doing is the town meeting members set this bylaw, so then like 5 people voting to overrule it. So he basically said, if you approve it, if anyone appeals it, it's going to get thrown out. So that's really kind of sets the foundation of,
What's a special permit?
Yeah, I was gonna say, this isn't a variance.
I'm sorry, like a special permit.
Same theories, though, on town meeting.
Yeah, the same theory, just in terms of, when the town meeting members vote the bylaws, they're saying, this is what we want, and we all voted on it, so we got to be careful about changing that by increasing the size.
No, I understand both positions. I don't know that a 4 square foot message center is even practical. To be able to be legible, you can't put anything on it. So there's a certain, my concern would be if you say no, you say no. I'm not gonna, I'm not here to tell you, you have to say yes. But my objection would be, there's a certain size, you almost have to have a minimum just for safety, so you can put something up there, people can see it and read it and not cause an accident trying to see what it says. If you have 4 square feet, you're allowed, that's basically about 6 or 7 letters.
And I agree with
But
theoretically.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to argue,
Yeah.
my point, I understand where you're coming from, I just don't know that it's really a safe size to present as a 4 square foot sign.
Well, it's part of a 40 square foot sign.
Well, what I would argue is that a 40 square foot sign is typically big enough, if you can portion it different to allow a certain better percentage that makes more sense, is what I would say, is more practical. Most most customers that agree to want to spend the money it takes for a message center have no issue going another $2,000 to make the sign bigger. It's the cost of the message center that's what they want. Now, that being said, 4 square feet is, I don't know how that's even practical.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm just speaking for one person, but that's when I think we look at what does the bylaws allow, and then, while I agree with you about the 4-foot message center wouldn't make sense, but then you could say, maybe you don't need a message center, just based on the bylaws, that's the size of the sign should be what the bylaws state. And, Now, just one quick question before the other board members can ask questions. You had mentioned the visibility to the dwelling. Do you, and I didn't get a chance to measure it, but do you know, I know it's not visible, but in terms of actual distance, would you say it is less than 200 feet?
I looked at it, it's about 110 feet, 115
Okay.
feet. And like I said, I never saw it because I was always on this side of the building. I never
Right.
really knew it was there. When I went back and looked at the site, it is there, but one of the advantages of presenting the sign on a pole is there's no way they can even see it. Because it's literally the side, the building actually, I don't know how familiar you are, but the road curves and the building kind of stays straight. It's a little closer to the street at that end of the property. So the building blocks any visibility of this sign at all. You can't see it on the other side of the building.
Do any board members have any comments? Or
I guess I just have one, the color of the sign, I believe this may just be a drawing, but I think, wasn't it mentioned at the meeting last week, red, yellow, and green letters on a message center would not be allowed within this?
I believe that was within a certain distance of a traffic light. There's no
I think it's-
traffic light.
There's 300
One
feet
right
to
down the
the-
road?
Yeah, but it's way more than 300 feet.
Okay.
Not the one by the mall.
Yeah, you talk about the one by the mall is just on the other side of that White House.
That's the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about, the one
That's
going
a
into the
traffic
mall.
light.
So I don't think it's 300 feet. I don't think it's that close.
Well, you're how far to the White House?
I roughed it out at about 110, 120 feet, then you got the property, and then there's
Right,
this,
so you figure another 180 feet from there. I don't,
I didn't measure that direction, because you can't, like I said, you can't even see it, so I didn't even,
Oh, so you can almost ballpark it here. What, that frontage is 167 plus 45, so it's about 200, looks like it's about 210 feet to Brotherton Way, according to the assessor map.
all right. That
I mean,
being
that's
said,
something that
if
could
we have-
obviously be changed,
we
but
can-
I just wanted to bring
If
it up.
that's part of the condition, we can certainly work within that
Change the
condition.
color.
I didn't address it because I thought it was further enough away. I didn't even think of that late.
Does anyone need any more information from the applicant, or does,
No.
No, I'm good.
okay,
I don't,
I guess we,
make a motion to close?
okay, is there a second?
yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we gotta decide on the sign, like a motion on whether we accept granting a special permit or not granting the special permit.
Well, I mean, the sign as presented, first of all, we don't have a plot plan to even
Right,
determine
right.
distances. It's way over the size. This whole sign itself is large. The message center is really large
Right.
as compared to the bylaw,
33%, a third of the sign.
right? I mean, it's even a greater, than we allowed on that one. It was just a small little
Right,
variance
right.
from the percentage. This one is just, it's literally over 3 times the percentage allowed.
It looks like
I
it's
mean, I
right,
can't support it, so I don't know what everyone else wants to do, but.
it looks like it's right on the sidewalk too, it's in terms of pretty close, probably maybe less than 10 feet from the road.
We can't take any more.
Surveyor map, it's more than 300 feet.
We can't take any more, so. Well, I'll make a motion that we deny the application.
Is there a second?
Am I voting?
Yep, 5 of us.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, and I'll take, do we have to close the meeting now, or is it?
Yep.
I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
Do we have minutes to approve?
Oh, I'm sorry, not the
No,
meeting.
no,
the-
just this part of the meeting.
this,
Motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, before we do the minutes, I think it's okay to mention just that we'll potentially have a 40B coming up in the near future. I think you guys probably saw it too. There's going to be a, Nick, do you know, is there any estimated timeline on that 40B, the Habitat for Humanity? Project?
At this point in time, I believe right now, they're still filtering through their paperwork for the state.
Okay.
All we've received at this point is a notification that they will be applying for 40B. We haven't received the actual application yet.
It's pretty involved.
Yeah. And we remember from the 40B up on the church on Packagug, they'll do a lot of community outreach, so they'll do a lot of work, and then, they'll have a complete package for us. So we got that. And then I'll take a motion on the minutes from the last meeting to approve minutes from February 20th. Anyone have a problem with the minutes from the?
No.
Motion to approve?
Sorry.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, Nick, in terms of, first of all, Marcia retired from the board, and we definitely want to thank Marcia for all the years of service. I know, I've been on the board 6 years, and she was a great resource in terms of knowledge, so we're all going to miss Marcia. Now, should we take, do you think, should we maybe vote as a board to appoint one of the alternates as a voting member?
I don't believe that the board has that authority. I believe that the
Okay.
board of selectmen.
Will they appoint? I'm not too sure on reorganization, though. Reorganization is done within the board itself.
Yeah, I would have to look at that. I can't honestly say.
Yeah, I don't think anything even addresses that, because it's always been the board itself, for some, the selectmen at the last few times decided to do what, they are the appointing authority. The organization is done by the board itself.
What does the board think? Do you want to, I don't know, maybe, would a fair way be to take a nomination on appointing someone from an alternate to a voting member? Or?
You may want to wait till Larry gets here, just to
Oh,
make
that's
sure you
true,
have a
too,
full
yeah.
board.
Okay,
It's probably the best way to go.
that's a good
Maybe we
point.
could put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay.
Inform all the members, so it's ample time to give it some thought, and then we could actually make a formal motion at the next meeting.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. And I think, anyone else have any new business, anything you want to mention or anything? Okay, I'll take a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion to close.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great.